Hi, my name is Hannah Park. Where I've been fighting, since I was returned USA in August 2017. I think the U.S. police system, I think U.S. society, but U.S. police system and U.S. police department is way too selfish. And is that how the white people is taking care? That's why going through what I'm going through, it's amazingly selfish. 2008, it was a Mexican American received the information and give it to the white police officer to do the front job for my University of Toronto event. And that's because I didn't issue a green card, U.S. police, create the lie. They wrap it up. I was just sitting in the physics room. That's how University of Toronto take me out and then put me in the mental hospital, feeding the medication, just like Epstein tried to kill me. And I couldn't stand on 4 months, and I was going to break the glass, and then the University of Toronto, mental hospital released me. I have no idea what the heck was going on. Yes, there was a hazard in 2004, and that happened 4 years later. 2007, I reported a pharmacy store to board about their misconduct. So I thought that who was doing it was the pharmacy store that I was report. So I was more permissive rather than, I never thought that, police would behave like that. And then knowing what these Mexican American and white police did to my life, through the University of Toronto. Once I returned to USA in 2017, they want to get away the University of Toronto misconduct. And they know that they are going to put me in the mental hospital and feeding me while I have no idea of what the heck is going on. I'm not mentally ill. And also the doctor is also, playing together, the white. So is that how the white people is behaving? That's why people is hating the white? Going through what I went through? I think too much. U.S. society, I think too much is selfish, I think. And the white police officer made a mistake, and then University of Toronto made a mistake, and then Mexican, he knew that I have no charge. Mexican American police and then also the white police in Los Angeles, they both knew that, there was I was just sitting in the classroom, and then they took me to the mental hospital. So I had no idea, there is no evidence, so they could not charge me anything. That both, police officer knew. But Mexican American police officers spread the lie, oh, she made a threat, so that's how she fared. The University of Toronto, he's the one who created. And that happened. University of Toronto is a 2008. That what they were spreading behind my life, I find out that 2023. While I was talking with the detective or officer, that he has been working in the Los Angeles. And he said, well, since you made a threat and da. I said, what? I never made a threat. That's how they've been spreading behind my life. Even in Susan Beer. And then they lied because of their reason, Christy Mayer removed me from the class. No, it was a cartel line. They're a cartel line, okay? Because Christy Mayer was one of the cartel member, and she accepted the Mexican American police line request, and then they behaved for 6 years while I was living there. I think it was their request. And it is also Mexican American request, and behind the Mexican American, it was also Mr. Chang's request. Mr. Chang knows that due to the USA police misconduct, I screw my University of Toronto. So it's not me that I screw. It was the police who screw by through their power. And then that's not where, in order to get away, they create last and college misconduct. Okay, and then they lie. Oh, well, because of the threat and she cannot go back to, that's how she. But she got the fingerprint, and then because there is nothing, no excuse, she also create the restraint order, fraud restraint order. Once the time came, once the time came for me to return to, return to Los Angeles in 2021, and they harassed, Mr. Lee like her down in Los Angeles, and they never accept me. And then later in 2000, December 2023, one of the member in Susanville wants to help, between me and school. And then school, the Espanol president in Los Angeles say that they are going to seal everything. Okay, so I never attend the Los Angeles. I never was there. And that behavior is the same as the Los Angeles LAPD internal affair. Once I submit the report to investigate it, they erase the report, and they never take care of the report. So just ignoring, I think in USA government fear, just ignoring and just sealing, just putting away. I think that's how they take care of their side of the work. Okay, so where Susanville police, police department member did not use their stream member for me to get further victimized by the police line. So while I was living there for 7 years, I think I made one at the beginning. Somebody stole my camera and, things like that. But I never made not even more than $100, victim, by police stream member. So 7 years, only the school block. And other than that, I don't have the conflict in that town. I get along okay with people, but the problem is they lie. They lie to people, they lie to the people, so they want me to shut my mouth up. So once I reissue the pharmacy tech license and working in Susanville Walmart pharmacy, they don't want like Amy or other mostly like Amy, because since she's the one who was talking with the Susanville Police Department, like Amy, they don't want me to talk, because they don't want truth to be revealed. And that I was kind of having a hard time in Walmart, and Susanville Police Department decided to let me go, and so they terminate my work. They terminate my work, and then because my Susanville house has hot spring reserve underneath, while the size of the lot is 2.5 acres along with the creek. It's very beautiful. So even they could build the recreation center, since it has a hot spring resource underneath of the lot. So there were, I spent about I had 140, and then I had 140 on my hands by the time that I purchased my house, I think. And yeah, approximately, since I worked, about a half year. So about 130 to 140. And then, COVID got kicked in, and Salvation Army, let me go, because the Espanol say the world, she's going to leave the Susanville and USA. So I was able to apply the EDD while COVID got kicked in. So I earned some money, and then there's a stimulus check, and then about 170, I fixed my house. Okay, there is a living cost, and then I sold it at 200K. Due to the having a conflict in town with the Lassen College, I cannot even jump. They are the one that because Christy Mayer was also got a line, just like Anchorage hacked her, cell phone number, while I was, fighting with the EDD because she made a fraud restraining order. So I think it seems like, Anchorage hacker hacked probably like Pakistan or Indian people. So there was a rumor saying that Susanville is a cartel town. Yes, I think, I agree. So, they never investigated, but, the day that I was, removed fraudulently, she was throwing, narcotic to 29 students, and she removed me fraudulently. So it's a Mexican-American police organization line, who was requesting her to remove, and then, told her to not to accept me. It's only 10 months program. What is big deal? Because while Mr. Chang, who was supplying all this hacking, while at that time they were setting up, there was based on the cartel network, Mexican-American police built up throughout the USA. On top of it, they were putting the cyber criminal organization, let all these street people to, work on the cyber, and then once it got set up, and then they were playing globally, while Mr. Chang in South Korea supplying all this criminal technology from, like hacking, see through the world, manipulating CCTV, and, all this IT, because he's been working with the India IT to snatch the money from the bank system. So it's quite, and then at that time, because they were working, Mexican-American has to listen to Mr. Chang. So, Mr. Chang know that who Louis, my, University of Toronto is a police. So Mr. Chang is directly working with the police line through the middleman in Torrance, California. So, Mr. Chang told them, since he was supplying a lot of work, for them to do the criminal further. So, Mr. Chang, request, Mexican-American line, screw her, nursing. Okay, so when she's come back to, South Korea, she could be my mistress or, secretary. That's his thinking, because he lives in that life. So without knowing what the heck is going on, Lassen College continually block, and I have a conflict in the Susanville town, and I didn't want to live further, and I have nobody there, and it's a small town. Okay, it's a good place, but it's a small town. But I have a conflict, so I wanted to leave. And then once I leave, their plan was Mexican American get my Susanville house like 100K. They were snatch. This nowadays police, not. Nowadays, unlike U.S. police used to screw, once people's life, like they did it to my University of Toronto, they also want to get the money. Okay, now they want both. Now, once they got hooked, like about 20 years ago, by the time they screw my University of Toronto, I think at that time they only sell the drug, they screw people, up to that much. But now, about 10 years ago, once Mr. got hooked, now because Mr. Chang is a professional money snatching person, he was like a CIA person, and then dig people's information and fraudulently was snatching. I'm pretty much positive, because our South Korea law enforcement police, police department, police knew his name, and then everybody was shaking their head. So he's been convicted and sentenced because he's been doing it a lot. to like snatch the money from the woman, you know. So he's been convicted and sentenced by, you know, as fraud money snatching. You know, he's been played a lot. And once he got sentenced, he no longer could play anymore. So he was just collecting the information. And meanwhile, you know, I got hooked. And then soon as he hooked people by putting the employment ad, and that person's information in the front has been handed out to the Chinese Korean, you know, criminal organization, so that you know their community police and, you know, criminal member dig how much that person has and how much what has and so on. Okay, but once you got hooked, they made a file of that person. So from they got the information, every single information, they keep it in the file. Okay, and then, you know, who knows later whether that person will have the money or not. Okay, so for the future, I think soon as they got one person's information, you know, to be handed out to them, that organization, they create a file and continually filed up. So even like a few years ago event, they bring it out and then tell in the future. And and then I settled in Anchorage. And you know what? Entire year, you know, soon as I arrived in Anchorage, I stay in, you know, Korean elder lady house about a month and a half. While I was just sleeping there, you know, I felt nothing. But I purchased this house, and I start to, you know, because there's no heater at the beginning, no bathroom, and, you know, nothing. But I start to feel headache in the morning. And my hand got swollen. I couldn't like grab like this. And then, you know, my muscle got stiff. And, you know, but at the same time, the hacker from Chinese Korean and also probably you know, Mr. Chang was showing that, oh, if you live in that house, then you will get disease, you will get cancer, and, you know, things like that. So I said, you know, at the beginning, it was fine, but about 2 to 3 weeks later or about a month later, then, you know, I start to feel, and this house, an elder lady lived for probably more than 50 years. And then, she, you know, by the time her age was 87, she ended up selling her house, and then I bought it. And because she lived for long and did not take care, the condition of house was very distressed, and then I bought it cheap, and then I had to remodel it. So while, you know, she lived okay, why all of a sudden, once I sleep, you know, I get headache and my muscle got stiff and my skin was sagging. You know, I feel like, you know, it's not getting tight. The muscle was losing or, you know, something like that. But the symptom that I was experiencing the hacker, you know, Chinese Korean probably, or probably Mexican too, they were showing up in front of, you know, through the YouTube channel that, you know, how, you know, they already knew, like shooting those kind of razor, you know, gun to the human's body, what symptoms they will have. So, or I've been here 2020. By the time that, you know, Mexican American police wants to get my Susan Bill house, you know, I heard that police wants to kill me. I said, why police wants to kill me? I guess, you know, the line that Mr. Chang got hooked is more like those people. But anyway, so they were telling me that, I mean, there was a rumor. And then in Susan Beer, she was telling me that they want you to disappear. Yeah, after, they haven't done the University of Toronto event and fraud, and then all these like, Epstein kind of, work and, ruining my, physical by the white people. White people did it. And then also, that's what I think white community was cooperating in order to hide it, for let me leave. They don't want to be exposed. And I was hoping not to, but this is too much. I mean, they have to feel sorry instead of doing what they are doing at the head of Angel. I don't think it's too much what they are doing. And also the police officer, they don't take care at all. So yeah, soon as I settle in this house, I feel that way. Mexican police, white, the Mexican police organization and white police officer who, those line, who's, the like a gutted line who play together, they were playing to either kill me or harm my physical, so that I ended up getting sick, so that I die. I think that's what the Anchorage Police Department was planning. That's why the member, mobile crisis team, can continually telling me that, oh, please go to the meet the doctor. Well, I'm busy like a hell in order to fixing my house. Why you keep on telling me to go to doctor while I live in 7 years in Susan Beer? They never told me to go to doctor. All of a sudden, once I settled in Susan, Anchorage, why you telling me that? Maybe because, I don't know. Maybe God knows, okay? Their job is taking care, the client, the people's, health and everything. So they want me to go to a doctor. They thought that I was very stressed out while I was living in Susan Beer. So maybe they are. So that I don't know. But Mr. Chang, Mexican American, and maybe certain part of the white police officer, they were, by shooting the laser weapon, they were going to let me ill, and then eventually get the house. They do cure, and I think it's already well known. It's just that police is not investigating it. And then while I was living in 1 year, the head of Angel is a club. It's a motorcycle club. And then, somebody, I live in Susan Beer for 7 years. Yes, there was a breaking in, but less than probably like 10 times during 7 years. During 6 years, I was living in there. But, in Anchorage, it's like almost every week or every other day, somebody was breaking in at the beginning. That I caught, and then I moved in this Anchorage house January 2025. Starting March, April, June, July, probably 3 to 4 months. About 3 to 4 months, they were spreading chemical. And, once they spread the chemical, I feel like a pokey. And I have to clean it was a chemical. See how they manipulated. It was a Mexican American that were carrying it. They spread the chemical with the cat fur. Okay, so I thought that it was like a free, but it wasn't bug. It was a chemical. So because it was a poking and itch, and I thought that it was, and then they mix it with their cat fur and then spread it like all around the house by breaking in. That happened probably about 3 months. In order to block my remodeling, okay? But I already purchased a house, and then, I cannot sell the house at this time. So if they didn't want me to buy a house, then they should not behave when I arrive in Anchorage, okay? Soon as I arrive in Anchorage, they circle around, okay? And then let the, Korean elder lady to let me move out. It's the one reason that I purchased this house ASAP. If they didn't play around, let her live in her house, okay? Not play, because I also at that time I also blocked the Facebook, so I'm not writing anything, I'm not saying anything to the public. I just wanted to move on my life. It was Mr. Chang's play again. Tell Mexican American to Russian American police member to circle around, move around, play around, spread the rumor in air, and let Korean lady to let her to be out. So due to the insecurity of my circumstance in Anchorage again, I ended up purchasing house. If they don't play, then I might pay the rent and then go to school and then leave the Anchorage. So this idiot, Mr. Chang, he's kind of, to me, I'm sorry, but he doesn't make things. He doesn't know how to make things. So, I purchased a house. I'm stuck here, okay? Not until I sell my house. And Mr. Chang doesn't know he never lived in USA. He never buy or purchase, or he doesn't have no idea what the heck is going on. So once I got stuck in this house, not many people wants to purchase, cash. This house at $100,000, $100K was just sitting probably more than 6 months, okay? Because they were blocking all other houses. This is the only house that I could able to buy. So it's not easy to sell. Then what am I going to do, okay? What am I going to do? So while Mr. Chang doesn't see the situation of U.S., all they could do was harassing, abusing, let head of angel to breaking in, destroy my item, my camera, digital camera, and hitting stone and tore my shirts. They were continually and then even continually spreading the chemical for 3 months. While they spread the chemical, I couldn't do anything. I have to brush entire this 1,000 square feet, 2-bedroom house, every single day, and then we go to laundry and wash it, dry it. So if I do it, at least the chemical kind of far up, it was okay. So I had to do it almost like every other day, probably about 3 months. So nothing much I could do. So it also postponed my, going back to school, because, Mr. Chang do not want me to study, okay? Because he's a criminal, okay? He's a criminal, and he doesn't earn money. He doesn't work hard to earn money, and he doesn't have a right setup company. So I worked there for 3 months, and this is not the right one. So I moved out. I pulled myself out. So you leave. It's not my life to live that way. Okay. He works 8 hours. He has 8 hours of working hour, but he only worked less than 30 minutes. How he's going to earn money? No way that he could earn. So he was getting the not correct fraud money, through the Chinese Korean, criminal organization. He doesn't have to work hard. The company was only to hooking the people and collect the information, hand it out. That I did, and then even though I feel like that, if he set it up good, even though he could make a good business through, he didn't do it. So he had no credit in the business sphere, because he was continually snatching the money from the people, and he's been sentenced for that. And even though he's been sentenced, it's an easy way to get money. He was continually doing, collecting the fraudulently from the people that let Chinese Korean to snatch or steal or whatsoever. That's what Mr. Chang was doing it. So So that's his background. Okay, he's been work, as a CIA, like those kind of, information soldier for 20 years. So he knows how to collect the people's information and make a file of it. That he's been taught to the Chinese Korean. So every person that he handed out the information, they make a file, okay? And then they track up that person in order to snatch the money. They have a system for that. And then and then 2018, once I returned to the US, Mr. Chang came to USA and met the Mexican American police line middleman, and then they were trying to set up the cyber organization on top of the cartel network Mexican American police already planted throughout the USA. So while Mr. Chang supplied a lot of criminal knowledge like hacking, they could track all these navigator, because Indian was also hooked the Indian IT. It's amazing. It's amazing on Mexican American side. It's like it's one of the other tastes, while they only know about the cartel line. Okay, so it's the other way of criminal, things they could do a lot through it. So from there, they start to take up the Southern America, drug market, and then clean it up, and then, work with the abroad. I think that's what was going on. Yeah. And then they try to expand more the other side of the world with the Mr. Chang. Mr. Chang is not very capable. Yeah, this Mexican American is capable organization because they have all this government network set up that reach all the way to the White House. So once Mr. Chang got hooked with the Mexican American, he think that he could also earn money, and then he hooked the Chinese, Korean, Indian, Russian, Pakistan, whoever he could hook in South Korea and make a global play. Yeah. And then I think from there they work each other quite a lot. Ping pong and back and forth and plan something in abroad to, develop just like these are like a sonic weapon and shooting the sound from the air and, things like that. Yeah. So we're going back to the Anchorage life, soon as I settled here, somebody was continually, breaking in. And then, you spread the chemical, destroying my item little by little. It was annoying. And then people, of course, they spread the rumor not for, contractor to help because they want to, they want to get this house somehow by, destroying it. And all they could do is destroy, and through that way, they think that they could get it. And they have no other way, okay? All they think that just destroy it, and then they think that they could get it. That's the only way that they have. And then, people was not helping me, but, I was working on my side. And one time, they spread the rumor to open the world, okay? Once they open the world, and then they could put the mice, and they could put the chemical, those, head of angel from Mexican, and back there is a Russian. I don't think he works in a criminal way, but he also was going after the house, okay, like, in joint way to fix all these things, because I think he was a construction contractor. So 4 people, house was doing it, but majorly, Mexican, with the, black fur was spreading the, chemical inside, and also the head of angel was continually breaking in, destroying my item. At the beginning of the house that I settled. And then, And then my contractor wants to continually leave the wall open so that Mexican American put the mice and then put the chemical, and they could do some kind of crime, the manipulation while the wall is open. And then, Head of Angel was continually hacking and also the wiretapping my life. And one time, I rejected the electrician opening the wall. I said no. And then what happened was they were wiretapping and I rejected it. So Head of Angel electrician breaking in back of the house and destroy my shower wall. And I find out and calling the AKPD in front yard. Just, during the time while I make a phone call in the front yard, somebody came in and, destroy my sprayer, that I purchased about $10, like pump it up by the pressure, pump it up, and then the pressure is spray. They were messing it up. I said, then, who could that be? Nobody's there, and it just like a 5 minutes. I was in the front yard and back, and my sprayer got destroyed. Then who could be? It's a Head of Angel. So, coming Saturday, August 2025, I went there gathering, and you guys were breaking in. And then the electrician said, not it, okay. And then I report to the AKPD. Yes, because I was continually making report that somebody is breaking in. And I even told who is breaking in. AKPD was not investigating it. And whatever, and then people was breaking my eyeglass. And they were continually doing things, even though I make a report, even there is a video who stole my, my bike, and AKPD was not doing anything at all. So that has been about a year. And then, because, see, on Head of Angel, this is what it happened behind it. Now it's been a year. Due to Head of Angel harassment, never ends. Of course, I get more pissed. So whatever they do, whatever I know, I end up writing more and more, okay? More bitterly, of course, because I feel pain due to what they are doing to me. So they even sued they could just like nowadays this police stream member, they could through their laptop and computer system, I think Indian is installing for them. They have a program like a word process, and then through that program, they could sue, SpaceX and then to your house while they see inside of the house. Hello Angel, they have everything. And that everything people in Anchorage, they already know, everybody has what they have, okay? See through the words, manipulating CCTV. By remote, they could lock, unlock, even gas stove, because it's electric. So even gas stove by the remote, they could turn it on, turn it off. I could tick, 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 tick. The light is not up. If they remote do something, even that setup, they could control it. Because any electricity, they were playing around. That's why the 4 ship that was head to the Iran during this war got burned, by the electricity or something. I think this is what was going on, because that technology is from the abroad, okay? Yeah, that Mr. Chang is, working on. But behind it, now it's a global place, everybody. Okay, Pakistan, Mohammed, war, and Russian, Chinese, Korean, even where African American police is not working. They're not corrupt. They fell off. They decided not to join this global system. But street people, yes, they are in. So everybody's in. Everybody is playing. And I don't know where it's going to. Okay. And so why now, after, while, while head of Angel, okay, this is what it was happened. Once I got in to Anchorage police, Anchorage police member who was working, who's been network with the California, they've been told to get my house. Their member get my house, let her leave the USA for them to get away. University of Toronto and Lasalle College. This is how it's been 9 years, and U.S. police system is so corrupt, and so does society too. Okay, I think they were more cooperating to cover each other in white, in white community, their crime that their people did, and then also the system was covering because the only reason they are white. I think this is why now going through what I'm going through, while so many people was jumping into this global play to flip the USA, I was going, maybe they feel same like unfairity, that's why they want to jump it in to this global play and flip. You look how this, what I'm going through, all has been done by the white. University of Toronto and Lasalle College, and then even UCSB, and then even this Anchorage too. Soon as I arrived in Anchorage police members set it up 4 houses. Left Hell of Angel from Mexican American, back Mexican Blue House Mexican American, all the way deep Russian American for contractor. And Head of Angel, even Head of Angel, who was putting in the front to do the physical crime, was white. So everything was white. And even because police was just saying in police fear, go after her house. And there was a Russian American man who wants to go after my house, but he also brought the original white. So whatever the crime that is involved, they want to put the white in the front. And even, whatever, even government, even criminal one, they all want to put white in the front and the top. And then once they say, okay, then all rest Mexican, Chinese, Korean, Pakistan, Russia, they were following up. So once, that now I know that living in Susanville, that Susanville Police Department didn't want to do anymore. So, nobody was doing the crime to go after for 7 years. But here, because I never made a crime police report. Probably one time, the guy has been stole my camera, and then police say no, don't do it anymore. So there is no further, activity of crime for 7 years. But here, it never ends. They break in inside or outside, the back. It was just crazy. And it's the breaking in more like a stalking, okay? They see me every single second and moment, and they do for the house. And then Mr. Chang or other, or Mexican, if I post wrong, they told Head of Angel to do breaking in and do something. So it's like a double and triple. Mr. Chang, if he doesn't like his way, then let them. They do. They have no idea. They don't think. They are authorized by the Anchorage police member to do the crime on my life in order to get the house. So they didn't care. Mexican told them to do the crime. They do. If they want to do by their own, they do. Mr. Chang wants to do, they do. It was like a crazy, okay? They flattened my tire. They destroyed my hitting stone and digital camera and shoes and shirts. And then spread the chemical little by little, and then flatten tire 2 times, and then they destroy my radiator for my minivan. So I end up dump the minivan, and then bought small little car, but that small little car, they were ruining the small little car body. It was just crazy. So and then they even pour the water on the front porch so that the soil gets softened, and then the exterior door part, the foundation gets sink. I mean, it was just one after the other. So I ended up find out, police has been authorized, plant 3 houses majorly, backup Russian house. They were watching they got crazy when I remodeled my bathroom, but other than that, they didn't break it in. They looked a little, while I was remodeled, that's about it. But majorly, front and back of Mexican, continually sending the cat and Help Angel because he's white, continually breaking in. It was just crazy. So while doing that, because I write it, they were shooting the razor. So I ended up leaving South Korea on February 4th, 2026. And then there was a rumor they were going to kill me, I guess so. Not like a kill, shooting the gun, but indirectly shooting the razor gun and makes me, become ill. And then eventually they think that I wouldn't know because, it's hidden. But people has a sixth sense to figure it out that they didn't count because this global criminal organization is based on police. They created. So police is based on the evidence, physical evidence. So as long as they think that they do the criminal in hidden, they think that it is safe. So that's why they created all these Sony weapons to shoot from the air and then shooting the sound so that it gets very annoying to do their people's daily activity. It's very annoying. It's continually, And that system is, installed by the Indian so that they could sit at home like, 7 days, 24 hours through the program and they shoot it. And so I left to South Korea, and then there I find out that Mr. Chang was working with only Chinese Korean, and with they also planned U.S. side also planned their Indian and Espanol to work on the U.S. society. So it's not like abroad is creating their own and attack. No. U.S. allowed them to work on together, but once I submit my USB to Anchorage FBI, how they work, they contact White House. That's why I say that this police network that Mr. Chang is working on together has all the way to the White House, network. And I'm sure that if they have a, network all the way to the White House, they might have like throughout the U.S. government system. So once I submit my USB, USB evidence to take care of all these like global police and law enforcement, but instead of taking care of them, they let Trump to sign the illegal people, excusing to them, and then they did something in Los Angeles bad that I submit the USB to FBI, and then so what they were doing wrong is nothing wrong to them, but because even though I do right, because due to their harassment, it's my fault. That's how right now the society has been settled along with this police power. That is what is going on. And then they want to flip this, USA, how the IC is forcing. They want to flip this, USA favor to the law enforcement police like a dictator or communist, country. That's why they plan a lot of people and let each other to hack and see, and then if they don't obey, then they revenge, just like what I'm going through, okay? Even though they are doing to me for me to leave. That I could not figure it out for 6 years. Now I kind of get, because they never inform you what is going on. Just like they spread the lie back on me that I made a threat. While you never know how you are going to figure it out. You have to get that experience over and over and over again. Then you ended up getting it. And this one is the same thing. They never tell you why they are doing what they are doing, okay? And then so does Anchorage. I lost what I was going to say. So, in Anchorage, since they keep on doing it over and over and over again, I happen to find out that police members set it up 3 houses to torture my life and, get my house. Because definitely, everybody knows in Anchorage, not everybody, there is a rumor saying that head of Angel was going after the house. Not only going after the house, they were continually stalking and torturing my life, harassing and breaking things and breaking my item, breaking in, scratch the floor, like stalking every single day or every other day, continually. Because through the torture, what they are doing, they want me to dump the house and leave. Okay, do not make the money in USA so that they can make the money. So how am I going to, for them, since they have been authorized to, get the house and do the crime to me, they were stalking it so that, I give it up while Anchorage Police Department purposely ignoring my case so that I dump it up. Leave. So once I returned, I left US due to the harassment. I left on February 4th, 2026, and then 3 weeks later, I returned, and then head of Angel and then I returned on 23rd and 25th morning, a day after, during night, they sued the cop, the laser. It's a razor gun that they were using. They used while they were getting the module. So, yeah, those kind of weapon they created some kind of or different kind of source. They were using it by the computer program. So while I was sleeping, they sued. Why you return? I said, why you return? Because on both sides, the Mexican side, their police has to get away, and then the head of Angel side, they have to get the house. So this is how U.S. police is working. It's too much, okay? It's too much, and I think it's too much. Yeah. And which country police system would behave while they made a misconduct and ruined one's life for 18 years, doing the crime toward that person, leave their citizenship country. This is what U.S. police system and U.S. government is doing it. And Mr. Chang is they say KKK and police system is not involved. While I was in South Korea in 2023, because this originally, some of this technique is originally from South Korea, and if they do the activity, then police system block. And I was telling some of the activity that they are doing it. 2 to 3 months later, South Korea law enforcement bust the whole building, and I tell head of Angel doing the similar thing, even worse. And then he was breaking it. Anchorage police system purposely ignoring all the cases. What is going on? Because they were at the top, they were told to do so. I think this is what is going on. And then this is a police play. Mr. Chang, he cannot now this global play is about 10 years going on. While there is, while Mr. Chang has U.S. police member and government law enforcement and government back up him, he could, if South Korea law enforcement government is corrupt, last 10 years they could hook everybody. They can, because this is a crime. But what is going on in USA? While, okay, this cyber play along with the U.S. police member vigorously playing starting little before 2019. So 2019 there is a Kia, 30 seconds, you get Kia. That was going on entire year. I don't know which part of people were purposely, which part of people wanted to Kia to destroy, okay? But I felt that, usually criminal, they throw it away. But it was continually going on for entire year. I feel like it has been set up to do so. And then 2019, while Mr. Chang hooked this Chinese Korean to Mexican American police organization, worked with the Mexican American police street line, and I think they tried to expand the other side of the world. China blocked Chinese Korean cyber play game. Since 2019, same year, what they were doing to Kia Auto, they were busting Chinese Korean and Chinese, whoever plays a cyber this, because back up their play, who was supporting this, expansion is a U.S. police line and government line, I think. It's a part of their government line. So they were blocking it, and they bust the member 36,000. And then I think China also want to get into the China government and made a network, But I think that has been found out, and then Chinese Korean lost their authority, permission to build up the public school and learn the Korean in China. And Chinese Korean play. And they play many. And right now, Mr. Chang and Chinese Korean working with the Mexican American, while they supply all this criminal technology on one side and doing all this crime, like what I'm going through, this are like a CCTV manipulation and remote unlock, lock, remote. This could be, it's a crime because you're not authorized to do, but you are doing it to other people's life. And then even the ignition of gas stove, all this criminal technology in Chinese Korean, and Mr. Chang is providing along with the other Indian or whatever their country, they are providing from abroad. But at the same time, Chinese Korean or, they are also hacking, wiretapping every single citizen who's doing the crime and hand it out to the Mexican American, police people so that they could bust. So whatever they are doing, their crime, their own, police never get them. But if the crime is not related to, then they get them. Now this is U.S. society. What is going on? And then U.S. police system. Don't you think it is too much, including my case? I don't think South Korea people could think once the South Korea police system rule in even foreigner 20 years and then doing more crime to them so that person return so that South Korea law enforcement could get away. In U.S. society, this law enforcement system, they do not take their responsibility what they have been done. They just want to, like LAPD, internal affairs, they erase erase or do not take care my case. Los Angeles, seal, and AKPD ignore. I think this is what is going on in U.S. police system or society. I don't know where I don't know. Since I say due to the harassment, I say I'm going to leave, okay? I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to leave, okay? But due to police play, living in USA for 40 years, I only earned $440. They even hacked my Social Security fund. I think it's about $700 or $800. But because Mexican American or because they got jealous, they ruined their plan. Okay, so they let India to hack the my Social Security benefit. So they manipulate to 440 because 1998 I received that paper while I was living in 3848 Ingraham Street. It was a 680 something, and I know I did not work hard, okay, a lot due to involved with this police line, corruption police line. I was kind of floating around, so I did not work hard. But since it was 1998, if it was like a $686 or $683, then at least I would have like $700 or $800. But when I went to Susanville, Social Security office, they were saying there is a 440. So definitely they hacked. So this abroad, Mr. Chang, that's why Mexican American listen to Mr. Chang, whatever he was asking. Mr. Chang and that line, but now other than Mr. Chang, I think that maybe Mr. Chang, they could hack entire U.S. government system. And then while I was having an interview on January 8th, 2025 on Anchorage 7, Anchorage government building on 7th Street. I was telling just, few words, and then they shut down the entire building of electricity. And then so did the Home Depot on Tudor. The first day I walked in order to remodel my house, they shut down, about like 30 seconds and then back on. So they could control all these, government system, hack through the hacking. And I don't know, going through what I'm going through and what is going on in U.S. system and lying that abroad is attacking. No, they are working together, U.S. plan over there to attack. That's what I see. But I don't know how you see it. And it's too much. It's too much to me, okay? So White House, to me, I think police system, FBI, I've been reaching everywhere, even till to the White House, okay, to get help about this corruption. But nothing was working. But I don't know why they torture. And right now, I continually ask Anchorage Police Department to investigate, they're not investigating. They excuse, okay? Why, we have to put the paper together, so I don't know. But they even have ability to shoot, like a laser, and even the sound, it was like a laser, and then while they continually, shooting, then that person has to be in that position. While, they start to shooting this sound, like by the end of the January 2026, okay? And if it is open, you kind of hear little, okay, since it's spread. But if you, stay in the close like place, close space, then it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. I don't know. Maybe because I want to go to school, they are doing it. Mr. Chang is just crazy. He's like he's coconut. He's 78 years old. He might have a mistress like 40 years or 30 to 40 years younger than she is. Now, the Chinese Korean who used to operate the restaurant together, 2018 to 2021, I think after they fail, I think they are doing all this criminal business along with the Mexican American police organization. So that girl, maybe like a 30 years old, 40 years old, 40, and while Mr. Chang is like 78, so probably like about 40 years old. So he doesn't have a normal foundation of life and doing all these kind of things, how normal it could be. All he could do is ruining. That's what I went through the last 9 years. And then because of Mexican American power in police system, law enforcement, all the way to the White House, nothing worked. My life has been destroyed. I lost, just within a year, I lost about probably like a 20K. To me, that's a lot of money. While, last 9 years, they were ruining my life. And I'm, counting penny after penny, and I tried to go to school and set it up. They don't want me to, settle. Whatever your condition is, even though it's their condition, and they spread the rumor how they do, how revenge, this police is going to revenge if you help me, for them to get away. Nobody wants to help. And I try to talk with the lawyer or, even government system, because they spread the rumor like a phobia. And if you help her, then, you will get revenge. And police, has street people will, do something, I think they even kill people, just like Epstein. But it's not, because, it's very deep. Even Mr. Chang, I think he's even involved with Cambodia, and they're doing criminal. And then the line that he got hooked is also a lot bad, and the police system is totally corrupt, and they're not. South Korea law enforcement is not this much corrupt, okay? It's no way that if it was corrupt like a USA police system, he's working with the US police system. He lives in South Korea, country for 78 years. If a South Korea law enforcement system that South Korean is operating as much as a US system, US police system, do you think that he's not going to hook entire South Korea law enforcement? No, he can. He can. It's not this corrupt, because he cannot. He exclude South Korea law enforcement and South Korea citizen. He was only working with the Chinese Korean little people to work with US. He could export a lot of, criminal technology he's not doing in, South Korea. So he's not convicted. But here, while he's doing things while he cannot do things in South Korea. This shouldn't be this way. What is so difference between South Korea law enforcement police system and U.S. police system? Why he can do the crime in U.S. society, while he lives in South Korea, okay? Mr. Chang is doing the crime from South Korea to USA society while he lives there. While he lives there, he cannot do in his own. This is how USA police system is making US society and going through what I'm going through now. Isn't it amazing? President Trump, and FBI and CIA and police system, I think it's too much. I don't know. And I don't know, And I like to, hear the answer. Isn't it too much? He cannot do the crime while he lives in South Korea. He cannot do the crime But even though he lives in there, he can do the crime in U.S. society because who's working? U.S. police member is working. With the member, law enforcement, FBI, and White House are the way to. So, it's more deeper. If this thing does not resolve, then, I would get into more deeper things, how they are playing in behind it. They, making a network in government system, they think that they could make a network throughout the world in government system and even the cartel line throughout the world. I think that's what they are thinking or trying. That I don't know. But it's too much.